Welcome to episode 492 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
And I'm Glenn.
How you going, Glennie? Looking pretty sullen.
Fucking fine, mate. Just a little bit sick.
Are you?
Sick of your shit, Nathan.
Got the COVID again, have you?
Sick of your shit, mate.
And let me guess, you're sick and you're still going to work, breathing
I'm not actually
fucking...
sick, mate. Just sick of Nathan's fucking relentless bullshit.
And me sitting over here who's done nothing.
Also looking very stylish, I might add.
Except carry your ass.
Today it's actually true. Yesterday and every other day.
Today I am wearing the brand new green forest green TWiL Nation hoodie that arrived.
You know what? You look like you could go and fucking liberate a Ukrainian city in that.
Stop it.
Possibly could.
Kermit the Frog was wrong because it looks to be very easy.
TWiL Nation is very closely aligned with the proud nation of Ukraine.
What's that? Your new nickname is Bayraktar?
Yeah. I tell you, I'll be fucking putting sunflowers up all over this bitch. In a minute, there's going to be a sunflower growing in fucking Glennie's seed if he keeps it up.
You can jam one down the eye of my cock.
Boys, I don't like this hostility.
I just don't understand where it's coming from, Glennie. I mean, look, I get it. It's been a long cut of a season. Look, I'm with you. I get it. But I mean, I'm directing that fucking hatred and pain inside, not to you. All right?
Today.
Glennie, don't lash out like that, mate.
I'm going to make it my fucking mission now.
Oh, fucking go right ahead, cunt. Fucking bring it on.
Week.
Oh,
now,
can't wait.
So we've established that Glennie's had a horrible 3 days, and he's coming in here in a kind of a mood. So let's see if we can't can't escalate it and make it even worse over the course of the next hour or so.
Do we need to postpone the football,
boys,
and do Glennie therapy?
No, fucking last thing I need is to try and fucking talk to you to make myself feel better. Imagine how long that would take. Fucking
Glennie,
Jesus.
why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
Because you're a miserable cunt.
Okay. And how does that make you feel?
Better about myself, if I'm honest.
Okay. So you're actually saying that we're a positive influence and you couldn't live without us. That's what I'm hearing.
I'm not about positive influence, but I would struggle to live without you both. Because really, in my own morbid way, I do love you.
Exactly. You fucking Ken Lee.
That took less than 90 seconds. He's back on track.
I don't know who that is. And I'm back on track with not understanding a reference. Everything is fucking realigned in the world. It's good to be me. It's good to be me.
Yep. Now, we should look at some news things first. Let's have some follow-up on some previous items. The Kalen Ponga Kurt Mann situation in the cubicle. They have reportedly escaped sanction following the saga. The Knights and the NRL themselves launched investigations into it, but apparently neither of them will receive a penalty, at least from the NRL. It's unclear at this stage whether Newcastle will sanction them internally. Peter Parr, the new Knights Director of Football, has previously stated that he will just support the decision of the Integrity Unit. So I guess if the NRL's not going to do anything, they probably don't feel they need to, based on what they've said.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess the thing about this whole story is it doesn't matter what was going on in the cubicle or what they were doing, because unless there's video of it or eyewitness reports or presumably drug tests that support anything, then...
Or the head of an association that deals with players doing alleged sneaky shuffles in Cronulla bathroom stalls.
Yeah, look, I mean, yeah. I mean, but, we're not going to talk about that.
No, we're not.
But
Some would, but we won't.
But yeah, let's just say that cocaine is a fucking rampant drug in the circles of the NRL.
Yes.
And its old boys network and more.
That's it.
It is also an experimental drug that
in the members stand bathrooms at Reclaim Australia Stadium, if we want to be specific.
May help you deal with the trauma of having one of your parents lose a limb. in a aviation accident, allegedly.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, no, like he did fucking lose his limb. That actually happened.
Yeah, you don't have to allege.
Whether it
feel
helps,
like that's
it's
public
alleged
record
that
at
it
this
may
point, Glennie.
that the drug may or may not help with the trauma, Nathan. That's what's alleged.
Well, they're experimenting with the whole, MDMA and everything on war veterans suffering PTSD to great
There you go.
success. That's not the same as fucking chalking up a line on the fucking dunny
Yeah.
in a Newcastle nightclub
On
or a
the
fucking
inside of the toilet bowl.
member stand. These are two different things. The clinical studies. There's no clinical studies taking place on the seat of a fucking toilet, all right?
Yeah.
Especially not at an absolute grimy shithole like fucking PointsBet Stadium, Cronulla.
Fucking Jesus.
Half-built shithole. What
Yeah,
else is happening?
That was always going to be the case.
Yeah,
It was always going to be the case.
without hard evidence.
Yeah, nothing was going to come of it. Even if they were tested. And, who's to say they were actual hair follicle tested? Nothing would ever come out of that unless it was their third strike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because if they were mysteriously 2 years banned or whatever it was, then not only did they return a positive drug test, but it's also like the second or third time they've done it. So, what else we got here in the news today? TWiL in May. I'd forgotten all about this. But yeah, so it happened last year after the season had finished, after the week after the grand final, I think.
Yep.
TWiL in May was charged with assaulting someone on October 8th last year, and today he was found guilty. Apparently, he was with Nathan Cleary, Jerome Luai, and Tyrone May at Maroochydore. Cleary had approached an 18-year-old man who'd taken a video of him, asked for it to be deleted, and then the old chestnut, which means you don't really walk away from your crimes, CCTV footage was then presented to the court, which showed May walk up behind the guy while he was talking with Cleary and Tyrone, and grabbed him by the collar of his shirt, pulled him to the ground, and smacked his head on the floor, and he suffered a sprained neck, which, Glennie can probably tell us about the first time he sprained his neck.
Well, I'd like to tell you about the first time I realised I had a neck, Nathan. It was
never.
It was never a go. And
It's the first time you saw Sonny Bill walk past. You did a double take that viciously.
Stop it. Sprained dick, maybe.
Well, after. Yeah. So he pleaded not guilty to the charge of assault occasioning bodily harm. He was labelled by the magistrate as reprehensible and cowardly, and while he was found guilty, he was severely punished by being ordered to pay $1,000 in compensation to the victim, another $1,000 in fines, and didn't get a conviction recorded against him.
There we go.
So I imagine that's probably the end of that, and it's all a big,
It's 100% a dickhead move.
Yep.
However, it's a fucking sliding doors moment, because doing shit like the cowards grab from behind somebody and pulling them down onto the ground is how people can hit the back of their fucking head on the corner of a bar table or a stool or the fucking concrete or a step or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden people are doing a fucking podcast about you, and you're in the fucking slammer, and Andrew Fafita's bringing you fucking love letters. So, lucky that it didn't go any further than that. But dickhead move. That's about it.
It is, and it is one of those things where it's just like could have gone very, very much worse. Luckily, didn't, and hopefully, the May family though. Loose individuals. You've got to say 2/3 of them now. They got a charge on them.
Well, okay. In the whole nature versus nurture thing, no matter which one it is, why are we surprised that it's a whole family?
Yeah, from there too, I suppose.
Well, it's not from there. There's plenty of fucking upstanding citizens from there. But if poor decision making's in one, you're not going to turn around and find fucking missionary Hopewadi as the other sibling.
Well, I mean, you kind of do, though. I mean, like, Will Hopewada is that, and then you got fucking, coward punching fucking drug lord Jamil, and then you got his dad, who's fucking, bush proctologist, and all round fucking loose cannon.
Yeah, but one out of how many kids have they got? Like 7 fucking kids or something?
18.
Yeah,
73. So I don't know, a lot.
One out of the entire clan turns out okay. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and of course in the maze, I mean, you've got old mate over at the Roosters, and he's the one in the May family, at least so far, anyway. The year is young. Now I can't find the story about it, but I've got to talk about it with you, Glennie. Reports today that the Leichhardt Oval will be ceasing to host NRL games as of next year, because it is with the whole funding for the suburban stadiums being reneged upon by the New South Wales government. The funding's not there to improve or upgrade Leichhardt Oval, and subsequently it will not be used henceforth. Is it after 2023 or is it from 2023?
Can't be soon enough.
Well,
Look,
I mean, yeah. So,
people like to call it the eighth wonder.
They play there like fucking 2 times a year anyway, because they've got so many home grounds.
People like to call it the eighth wonder, and there was a time, even in the West Tigers history, several years ago, where it was glorious, and the West Tigers used to run out and very tough to beat. Now, every time they play there, it's built up as another clash at the eighth wonder, and everyone gets pumped up, and the crowd comes out and full voice, and the Tigers get fucking smashed and perform like pieces of shit. So, look, at the end of the day, I've been to Leichhardt Oval many, many times in my life. Used to, one of my dad's best mates used to own the Orange Grove Hotel. We used to park there, walk down to Leichhardt. Well, we used to go and have a feed at the hotel. Dad would have about 14 schooners. Then we go to the game. He'd probably have another several beers. Then we'd go back to the Orange Grove, have dinner. He'd have another 14 schooners and drive home, because that was the custom.
It was a different time.
It was a different time. But some of the buildings around Leichhardt Oval, the grandstands and some of the amenities blocks, etc., look like my dad actually drove into them whilst pissed on the way home from the Orange Grove Hotel and were never repaired. Indeed, the toilet amenities there at the far end are fucking something resembling what I imagine a prison toilet would look like, other than blokes being fucked in it, at least when I was in there. It was fucking gross. And, look, like I said, it holds a special place in many Balmain fans' hearts, I'm sure, and there's been some good memories there for the West Tigers, but, the fuck is Balmain bringing to the fucking table these days? Fuck those cunts out of here.
Could you explain what those good memories for the West Tigers are?
Oh, look, there was a win one time. That one time we won a game. Benji Marshall kicked a field goal. Ironically, James Tedesco's debut, round 1 against Cronulla. I remember going there. We'd been at the UFC on the Saturday and went to the Leichhardt game against Cronulla on the Sunday. James Tedesco made his debut and blew his ACL in the same game. Benji Marshall kicked a field goal. It was fucking glorious. And can't remember fuck all else, if I'm honest.
There you go.
What would you say if I told you that Leichhardt Oval is second last in all-time crowd averages for grounds, and therefore I put it to you that it was never that popular.
That includes
all time, as in all time when Balmain were playing there, and
all-time crowd averages, sir.
There was butchers and bakers and candlestick makers playing first grade, and a couple of people would take time off on a Sunday afternoon from their third job to go
and all of the
and
players
watch the fucking
45,
Tigers.
So had
Yeah.
19 family members each.
There's still butchers and bakers. I mean, they're at East now. Like they're still playing today. I mean, look at their fucking team list.
I think that was the fucking worst joke this show's ever had.
Yeah, it was.
That was bad.
Yeah, it was.
Fucking
But
hell.
I fucking said it, and I retract nothing. Yeah,
When did you become judge, jury, and executioner of the quality of the fucking jokes told on this show?
exactly.
Been bringing the fucking worst content on this show for fucking 7 years running. Who the fuck are you?
He's just fucking old. He's old
Glennie.
Statler and Waldorf sitting up there in the top frame on the fucking Skype window.
Otherwise known as a fucking Muppet. Much like the fucking sound Muppet.
I'm what's fucking keeping this little ray of sunshine going.
Balcony Muppet and sound
Can you
Muppet. What a
imagine?
fucking duo.
Without the Penrith Panthers this year, there would have been zero Dairy Queen on this show. Zero fucking
Lots of Dairy Queen. I mean, lots of Dairy Queen. I've been nothing but Dairy Queen all year. I mean, Glennie he's had some moments, but
I'm more lactose intolerant queen.
he's like the Coogee Bay Hotel Dairy Queen.
I'll be interested to read more into this Leichhardt thing. And
Nathan Gillis, that is gold.
and just see where the decisions come from. Because just hearing it, it sounds to me like it's politically motivated from one side. It's either reprisal from the government side for the NRL not wanting to toe the line and thinking they can hit at a important home heartland ground, whatever it is, or it's the NRL being absolute shitheads, saying that they won't utilise it anymore, and it's all because of the New South Wales government. And the reason they've chosen that is because isn't fucking old Bible Basher Premier a West Tigers member?
Is he?
Wasn't that the thing that everyone was expecting him to you've got to give equal funding to the West Tigers, they're your club?
Yeah, look, I think the main thing is that there's been unprecedented things such as enormous flooding and fucking displacement in northern New South Wales around Lismore.
Yep.
Money has to be diverted because there are still people that don't have a fucking house up there at the moment, and we're months and months down the track. And so that was the reason why that was the public reason why funding for suburban grounds was withdrawn.
Yeah, okay.
From the government, and now V'landys is he's famously came out and said things and made it pretty insensitive, where he was sort of wanting the grounds done ahead of the other stuff. I mean, I can't imagine you actually think that, but that's it's kind of the way that it came out when he said it. And yeah, look, if the money's not there, fuck me. The funding for grounds and the withdrawal of funding for grounds and then refunding and then another ground gets funding that they didn't have previously. It's been going on for like the last 20 years easily.
Yeah.
So look, I think the move is clearly towards the large stadium. I mean, even Redcliffe coming in next year, and we're not going to play a lot of games at whatever they call it now, like Moreton Daly Stadium. They're not going to get a lot of games there. I mean, they're going to be playing our Suncorp. Broncos going to be playing our Suncorp. If the Titans were fucking half an hour closer down the road, they'd be playing all their games out of Suncorp as well. And so it goes then to in Sydney, where there's going to be games played out of Allianz and games played out of Homebush.
Yep.
And it's just. And I think over time they're going to try and push more and more of those games into there. So just the way it is.
Yeah, it's times like this that I wish I understood the economics of a stadium deal a little bit more, and really had a look into ownership and who owns it, what the clubs get out of it, and what the benefits are for them. Then other stuff happens and I stop giving a fuck. But
yeah. I mean, I know they're fucking expensive. Like the deals are expensive to for the clubs, like the guys, not necessarily the owners, but the people who manage the rights to use them. Like Stadiums Australia, who had the rights for for Hope Solo and up there in North Queensland and things like that. They charge a fucking fortune.
Yeah.
And when you're getting Titans level crowds or just below,
yeah, that's it.
It's hard to make an economical. But the thrust is more from it does, like, for example, Suncorp provides Queensland Rail or Queensland Transport in general. You know, the buses and the trains are free for people to come, and it's centrally located with train lines coming from all corners of southeast Queensland to get there.
Yeah.
And the stadiums are new with great facilities, lots of food, and easy to get in and out of. So as a fan experience, there's something to be said for that kind of stadium.
Yep.
But you know, the people who support clubs that have never had like a hill or a suburban ground, it's very easy for them as well to fucking just say, "Oh, they suck. They're fucking old," because they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't understand what the experience is. You know, going with your parents on the fucking hill to, you know, to like Brookie or like, you know, Glennie or like Leichhardt and things like that, and they don't understand. You know, and so I'm certainly not going to
But honestly, do you know
hate
what
on
it was?
anybody for having nostalgia towards that either, because I mean, it is fucking great.
Here's the thing. I was chatting to somebody the other day about it. We went to a local league basketball game a little while ago.
Yep.
And it's at a sports centre just down the road, and they pull out all the big stadium seating from the sides of the hall. They play on a court in the middle, and it's, you know, cheap as shit to get in there.
Yep.
And we were talking about it afterwards. And we were thinking back to when we were kids, going to games and that stuff. We didn't watch a lot of football at the football.
Yeah.
You went to the football to play football.
Yeah.
Because while your parents were sitting there watching, or whoever you're with was watching, you were off fucking around with the other kids.
Yeah, running around down the concrete down the
kicking
bottom.
balls
Yeah.
and
I was
and
sitting
doing
in
that
my
sort of stuff.
allocated seat that my season tickets at Campbelltown fucking afforded me.
Yeah, of course you were.
See, most of my football as a child, because I mean, I moved up here when I was, you know, really young. Most of my memories of football as a child, because, you know, playing footy at school, and we got that QRL
Yep.
like season card sort of thing. And if you played footy at school, then, you know, you got free entry into the outer, like the Broncos games and stuff like that when they come into the comp. And so I remember, like, we're back when Lang Park had like the concrete tiered sort of steps with the grass.
Yeah.
That's where we were every time. And
Yeah,
that was fucking great. You know, back when Mum would get like a 1.25 litre bottle of Kirk's ginger ale
That's
and, you know,
it.
and tip out the top fucking 10% or 20% of it and top it up with Southern Comfort and fucking take that in and
Yeah.
and little Nate fucking just dying for a drink and sees soft drink in the fridge and cracks it open and wonders
Oh,
what the
no.
fuck why it tastes like fucking medicine. Those are the days.
However, fuck the West Tigers as a staff record label and as a motherfucking crew.
They've got to put a field on top of that new fucking quad stretching building that they've developed.
Yes.
So one thing I didn't see though is what are they doing for? Do they have to then relocate to like Accor or?
Well, they've already the main stadium for them is Bank West.
Yeah, Bank West, of course. Yeah, and that's the thing too, because like Leichhardt, how many games they play? 2 a year, maybe. Like, it's not like he was getting.
So whether I don't think it's a horrible thing if they take the games away from Leichhardt to give them to Campbelltown.
Yeah.
But
So
again, it's an expensive exercise for them to play
So
out of there.
look at the article.
I bet you they don't though.
Look at the article. It says it
Like in the Bank
could
West or Combank or whatever.
could stop hosting NRL games at the end of next year without funding from the New South Wales government.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
So
the
it could
thing,
be
I mean,
could be
we've been told the
NRL
funding-
media spin.
So
This-
100.
Yeah,
100%. This is the NRL trying to get some fucking spin. They've gone at the West Tigers because the fucking Premier is a West Tigers member. And they're trying to create all of this fucking grassroots hullabaloo. Oh, you can't have fucking suburban grounds die. So this is all total fucking bullshit and a smokescreen. And I hope they call their bluff on it because, again, fuck Leichhardt Oval and fuck the West Tigers.
the thing is as well. Like, I mean, 'cause like what I've seen, I haven't seen like could. I've seen like articles that say will, but the thing is, why do you stop hosting games at Leichhardt at the end of next season if it's unsuitable for you know, fans and conditions now, and they're not going to spend any money on it? The conditions not changing from now to the end of 2023. So what, you know what I mean? Like why?
Yeah.
Like it's just this weird arbitrary sort of date, which does lead me to it is like a PR exercise probably to try and extort the money out of New South Wales government, by
100%
virtue of, people power. Because, again, the West Tigers, I mean, it's a good target to use because, the rage clicks on the articles about the West Tigers and everything seem to work. I mean, they're certainly not like, the number one club in the game or the number one membered club in the game by any means, but they're certainly the club that generates the hate clicks. And this could just be another one of those as well. But
most of those.
There you go. So Perrottet has been offered a ticket to the Raiders game this weekend.
Okay.
And there are a number of banners with Save Leichhardt Oval due to be put around there. Fair funding now.
I did see that. I just saw a
for
photograph of
fuck's
that.
sake.
So, 100% this is NRL-led bullshit spin.
If Perrottet or however you pronounce his name, if he's serious, if he's fair dinkum, he'll rock up to Leichhardt in a fucking digger with a wrecking ball on it and just fucking start swinging from the time he shows up. Just put it straight through the fucking stand before the fucking Reggie start. Now that would be something that I'd click on if I saw that. At this stage, there's no news on some of the contract stuff we were talking about with Benny Hunt and so forth. Dragons are apparently in the pole position now, though. They've given him an improved offer and apparently he wants to stay there for whatever reason. So we shall monitor that and see how it goes. I guess onto the games, hey?
Let's go.
In what is clearly... we've had our women in league round and we've had our, Anzac rounds and whatever. I mean, this is clearly who gives a fuck round because, my God, there's some interesting team selections this week. No, but not particularly on Thursday night, though, where we have the Eels taking on the Storm, which is a great, finals.
Pre-finals clash. Fuck
Pre-finals clash, yeah. The Eels coming in, they mean business. I think, they're trying to get a top 4 spot there, so they're unchanged. The Melbourne Storm, however, Eisenhuth is out with an ankle injury, so Lewis replaces him on the bench. Kafusi is named to start with Kamika benched. King starts lock with Smith interchange. Jerome Hughes has been omitted from the side, bringing Cooper Johns in. Looks like Munster's going to play, though.
Yep.
And the Storm. Good performance in a tough, very finals-ish game against the Roosters, and they failed to get the win. Parramatta looked very impressive, flogging the dead horse.
I think Melbourne are probably, even with the absence of Hughes, if obviously Munster's going to play and Harry Grant's there, I think they'll be looking to continue the impression they've been making over the last month or so and wanting to put a good performance in against Para. I think it'll be a pretty entertaining game, but I'm going to tip Melbourne in a close one.
Now, I'm going to ask Jay to premature predictulate here and don't get the predictor open.
I'm 3 games deep, brother. I'm fucking in.
What are the ramifications of an Eels win and a Storm loss or a Storm win in this game?
Okay, so currently, as we speak now, Storm are in 4th and Eels are in 5th, both on 32 points, but with Melbourne almost double their for and against.
Right.
So if the Eels win, they go into the top 4.
They're in, yeah. Okay, so there's plenty to play for.
That's it.
But the Storm's still resting fucking Jerome Hughes.
The Storm, if they lose, they're into 5th.
Yep.
If they win, they go as high as 3rd.
Okay.
But then pending what the Cowboys do.
Yeah, right.
Right? Because they're also... that would put them on the same number of points. So we'll get to the Cowboys-Penrith game in a minute.
Yep.
But let's say that the Cowboys win that over the little Panther Cubs. That throws them back up to 2nd.
Yeah, because every chance. This game has been delivered to the Cowboys on a silver platter, really.
That's it.
So you got to kind of work on the assumption that we work on the assumption that the Cowboys win, right?
And then the other unfortunate thing for the Storm is that Cronulla play the Knights.
Yeah, which is
so both teams above them have easier games this week. So if the Storm win, they can finish 4th. So they're playing for a top 4 spot, as are Parramatta, the same spot.
So the Storm playing for playing for the double chance but probably or definitely not at home though.
That's it.
Versus losing, finish 5th, home final against a team that may have just but also a home final against a team that's going to fall in.
Which is essentially going to be, what is it? 5th
Broncos or Canberra.
Yeah, Canberra.
Yeah. Or Broncos in extremely unlikely scenarios.
No, that won't happen. Can't happen.
All right. Okay. So, look, it's so hard to pick the Eels from week to week because, I mean, it's one thing to look, against shit teams or the Panthers, they look impressive.
Yeah.
Against most other teams, I mean, I know they own a win against some of these decent teams, like right at the start of the season too, like first month.
Yeah.
But, it's a long time since then, and it's really hard to... I mean, I guess this is a good test of their credentials, even though the Storm are slightly weakened. It's it's a good chance for them to dispel that shit, and they have been building over the last couple of weeks.
I think if Parramatta get out to a very fast start, the Storm are rattleable at the moment.
Yeah.
Like East went at them hard last week and shook them. I think if Parramatta can get out and blitz them, and they can put points on quickly.
Yeah.
If they can get out to a 2-3 try advantage early, and then get into the grind, they're a very good shot of going all the way.
Mitchell Moses might need to sacrifice himself as well and just talk mad shit and try and get Nelson, because I mean the spotlight's on Nelson at the moment as well.
100% it is. And the thing is, though, I just fail to see that the Storm wouldn't be prepared for most of Parramatta's weaponry. Get up in Sean Lane's face and he's fairly easy to shut down. Get rid of the offload.
Yep.
I can't tip against the Storm this close to the finals.
Yep. Okay, so we move to a Friday night first game. Bulldogs take on the mighty Manly Sea Eagles at Aqua Stadium. The Bulldog side, Corey Waddell returns. Stimson's been benched. Harrison Edwards drops out. Tavita Pangai Jr. returns on the bench after in Reggie's. I think he had a reasonable game, over 200 metres, a couple of tackle busts, some missed tackles, but I think he did enough to indicate that the message was received from being dropped down to the Reggie's. Manly wholesale changes with finally KO Weeks named in the number 1 jersey. I still don't believe it's going to happen until they run out on the field that way, but I know the fan base has been wanting to see him at fullback for fucking a month now. Otherwise, so that then shifts Collar to centre. Davey comes back into the side in the back row. Bullimore benched, and Aloye is out of the side. Apparently, he has been busted for about a month now, and just can't do the needle anymore. So that will end his season as well as many others. Honestly, who fucking cares? A win or a loss does not fucking change the result of this season.
Doesn't change anything at all.
Change shit. Doesn't change the ladder positions. Doesn't change jack shit. I mean, they've got a big break on the bottom pack of teams. They can't lose position. They probably can't even improve it at this stage. So there's literally nothing to play for, and honestly, there's nothing to watch for, unless you want to see KO Weeks how he goes at fullback, and it's great to see him get some game time and hopefully fucking start instead of getting 10 minutes off the bench at the end of games.
I would hazard a guess to say that on this field, across those players, there is more pride and respect for the Bulldogs jersey on that field on Friday night than there is for the Manly jersey. At least the Bulldogs players
they're not showing it. Yeah, well, but that's the thing. They haven't been showing it lately either.
They have both.
Well, no, they haven't. I mean, they've gone back to the...
Adokar kisses it every time he scores from that one play that he and Birdo have together.
Yeah, but last week they got 0. Last week they got 0, so he wasn't kissing anything. Or was he just kissing it just to do it, walking off at half time?
That's it. I understand you now, Mitchell Pearce.
It's like he puts the hand in the Bulldogs jersey like the fucking Ben Affleck in like Ben Affleck. He's got it in his jersey.
Oh, rush.
Falafel flavoured kisses.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Falafel.
Donna, chicken and chicken.
Oh, fuck. Glennie does not get that
Jesus
reference at all.
Christ.
Nope.
Yeah, no one cares.
Bulldogs by plenty.
No one gives a fuck. I don't even care. The Roosters take on the Rabbitohs. Now, this is a big game.
Another fucking cracker.
It's not as big as it was 3 weeks ago when we were predicting all sorts of shit based upon the result of this game. Both sides have shocked the predictor world, and pretty much, they've made this. This was like a win and you're in kind of game 3 weeks ago, but now they're both safely ensconced in the 8, so not as much pressure on there. The Roosters side, they will be lacking Victor Radley, who's out with a concussion. Daniel Tupou with groin injury, and Lindsay Collins is suspended forever. So SST starts in the lock, and Momirovski named on the wing, with Baker and May joining the bench. And of course, he's the extended bench for May. Oh no, he's in 17. My mistake. The Rabbitoh side. Okay, so Damien Cook has been rested. Campbell Graham is out. Jackson Polo comes in and replaces Graham in the centres.
Oh no.
While Mamouzelos replaces Nick Reamer on the bench.
Now this is the one that has some
fucking buy too for Manly. He's actually a real player.
Some different ramifications based on what happens in that first game.
Right.
So if Melbourne win on Thursday night, then again we've got two teams playing for exactly the same spot in the finals. So the winner of this game will go into 5th and host a home final.
Yep.
Whereas the loser drops to 7th.
Right.
Right. Now, if the Eels win on Thursday, they're both playing for 6th.
Right. Which means you're trying to book a game in Melbourne against the Storm then.
Yeah, essentially.
Right. Well, they're going to know that result, so I guess it's choose your own adventure at that point.
Yeah, that's
because
it.
Let's face it, they're both safely in the bottom 4, so not a lot's going to change
for
for them.
They can't rise to the top 4.
Yeah, but going down to play Melbourne in the finals in Melbourne.
In a sudden death.
Yeah, in sudden death is probably not what you're looking for. Yeah.
Rabbitohs for me. Rabbitohs for me.
You reckon last week just took too much out of the Roosters, like both physically and with players and suspensions and injuries and shit?
Yeah, I do. I just think the Rabbitohs are more a legit finals team, given what they've shown over the entire course of the season. I think whilst both teams have been on a more of an upward tick towards the finals, I think the Rabbitohs have been more impressive. And again, you just can't go past the as good as the Tedesco factor is, and like you, Jay, I hate the term X factor, but the Tedesco influence over his team is immense. I think Mitchell. I still give the edge to Mitchell.
100%. 100. Tedesco's good because he does the little things right. His attention to detail spot on, and his effort throughout the game is unwavering. He's where he's supposed to be, when he's supposed to be there, backing up everybody to take advantage of opportunities. Mitchell is an athletic freak of a human whose body is built for rugby league, and he can dominate any player in the competition one-on-one. There is a vast fucking difference between the danger of those two players on a football field. I love the fact, I reckon this year, the floor and ceiling in all of the finals teams is bigger than it's been in as long as I can remember.
The exception.
Except maybe for Penrith, where their floor and ceiling's a little bit closer. But everyone else, you look at those two teams here, for the first time that I can remember, we're talking about, here are two teams that are amazing fucking attacking teams, but oh, Jesus Christ, if they have an off day.
Yeah.
Like if the Rabbits start to get the fumbles. Or if the Roosters start to fall into that fucking missed tackle mode that they get into.
Yeah.
That
is really the Achilles heel for the Bunnies, is that when, as you put, the fumbles, but if they make one handling error, they make 6.
The bottle opens and out she comes.
It's they drop it cold. From one of the halves drops it cold. Then someone will fuck up in the play the ball, and then someone's canning a ball off a edge back rower's fucking chest, and they just seem to come in bunches with them for whatever fucking reason. There's no reason why, but just those lapses of concentration.
The other thing is, I favour the Rabbitohs in this game for the simple reason that the Roosters are a different side when Victor Radley isn't on the field.
And he's not. That's it.
they are less. They are not at their ceiling when he's off the field.
Correct.
And like, I don't think there's anything seriously wrong with him after last week. I think this week is more resting than anything else, than actual, protocols dictating he sit out.
Yeah.
And that's because this game doesn't have dire consequences to either. They're both in. But I think I favour the Rabbits.
Yep, agree.
Just to your point about the floor and ceilings of teams, I just like even if you take Penrith out of the equation because they're a rule unto themselves, but you look at the Eels, the Storm, the Roosters, the Rabbitohs, just the experience in big games. You'd expect them to be able to operate close to their ceiling come finals time, and I think they've all had their significant bumps in the road over the last few months of the regular season. But I think we're in for a cracking final series when you look at the ceilings of those teams, as you put it.
Yeah.
And then you throw the Cowboys in, they're effectively a bit of an unknown quantity. The Raiders are cannon fodder, and then, as I said, Penrith is a law unto themselves. But the calibre and the experience in big games of Storm, Eels, Roosters and Rabbitohs in particular is going to make for some fucking cracking finals games, I feel.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it would be ideal for the series as a whole if the Panthers got rolled week one of the finals, and we're like up against it, just like
last year.
I think just for the drama of the series.
Yep.
But not that I think it'll happen, but yeah, no, it would be interesting. The Warriors take on the Titans, Mount Smart, in a game that has enormous ramifications for the wooden spoon. The Warriors with a slender, about 80-point lead in differential and 2 points on the competition ladder ahead of the West Tigers. So they're going to be breathing down their neck. I mean, they know they could lose this game. The West Tigers put it on Canberra, and the spoon is theirs for safekeeping. The Warriors side, Aitken, Egan, Montoya, Arthurs and Berry all returned. Final game of the season. Big game. They're taking it seriously. The Titans, they welcome back Philip Sammy after missing last week. Brian Kelly makes way for him. He's suspended. Look, I think the Warriors can actually win this game.
I agree.
But not by a margin that makes it remotely hopeful for the West Tigers faithful.
I think it's probably, if you're the Warriors, I think they will want to
interject, Glennie. Sorry, if the Warriors win by 12 and the Tigers beat Canberra by 48, the Tigers still get the spoon.
Yeah, I actually think the Warriors can be the big margin winning team.
Okay.
Warriors by 60, West Tigers by 12.
You're a fucking idiot, mate. I said it at the start of the show.
Me outlines a fucking scenario.
Being.
Yeah, me outlining a scenario where your team doesn't get the wooden spoon, and all of a sudden I'm the cunt.
If the Warriors win by 48
yes.
and the Tigers win by 24, the Tigers still get the spoon.
So they'll have to kick a field goal then.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? See? You're giving me problems, I'm giving you solutions. This sounds like it's almost inevitable.
That's it. No,
I think the Warriors will... Sorry, you go.
No, it's as simple as... No other than the Warriors will win at home.
Yep.
Well, I just think it'll be a big moment for the Warriors, given everything that's happened over the COVID period, and I know they're playing at Mount Smart, but the fact that it's the last game of the season, they're back there, and obviously back there full time next year. I think they'll be looking to put a bit of a full stop on what's been a really hard couple of years for them, and put a good showing on for the scaffolders.
Yep. Okay, so the Dragons take on the Broncos on Saturday afternoon down there at Jubilee. The Dragon side unchanged from the side from last week that had the easy win over the West Tigers, and the Brisbane Broncos side. Carrigan returns at lock. Please don't interrupt while I'm doing the team lists, Glennie.
Well, be less of a cunt. I won't have to interrupt you.
You're being very rude right now. Carrigan returns at lock for the Broncos. Cobbo's back after a little sleep. Branko Lee and Kobe Hetherington make way, and Hoyter comes in at centre. And the big change, Tyson Gamble replaces Ezra Mam in the halves.
He is risen.
Back from the dead. He is risen on this most holy of days, the last day for use a fuck round. So, look, Dragons side, big chance here in a Ben Hunt revenge game. I mean, they were borderline terrible for large parts of the game, but they also had guys in the bin for 20 minutes of that first half too.
Yeah, they did.
Which could have accounted for a lot of that. So, look, if the boys can get around Ben Hunt and want him to stay, because the Broncos have proven over the last couple of weeks that they are just like mentally and physically shot.
Yeah,
they haven't been in contests at all.
No. Still $1.60 favourites, the Broncos, away from home, and given their form over the last few weeks.
$1.60 versus what?
$2.35.
That must be based on the slim opportunity for them to regain their place.
Yeah, I think if the Broncos are serious, they'll handle the Dragons fairly easily.
What do you make of Ezra Mam being the scapegoat for the Broncos?
It's rough.
Yeah. And not that he was effective, but far out, he was one of the few putting effort in.
Yeah.
So, I feel like if a half is made a scapegoat for those sort of performances, when in large part his performance is dictated by the effectiveness of the forward pack and the platform they lay for him to operate off the back of.
Yeah. And look, he can miss a tackle, but he wasn't Robinson Crusoe there.
Yeah, exactly. But, if all he can control is his effort areas and those were there to be seen, I think it's rough.
Even objectively, looking around the league, if you said, okay, well, we're going to get the worst two performing halves of a round and, drop them every week, he wouldn't have been in the worst two performing halves many weeks.
You wouldn't think so. I mean,
well,
it can
most
only
of
be,
those,
it can only be because of missed tackles, and that's an area they're trying to shore up. I can't because otherwise, I mean, it's hard to scapegoat him for performances of the halves when Adam Reynolds gets injured in the first half.
Just saying, if you got dropped for missing tackles, how's Billy Walters played almost every game this year for the Broncos?
Yeah, that's it.
Because I don't know if he's missing as many tackles as he did when he played for the Tigers, Glennie.
Well, he should still be sat for the amount of tackles that he missed when he was playing for the Tigers.
well, yeah, but still. Look, Dragons in an upset.
Look, the Dragons had a performance of a lifetime last week to get over the juggernaut that is the West Tigers. I don't know that they could replicate that, and I think the Broncos will handle them easily. So all the joy that cunt of a fan base and that fucking piece of shit club had last week in winning against the Tigers and trying to fucking take pot shots at me because I'm the face of the West Tigers franchise, apparently. It's all for fucking naught because they get thumped this week.
Jesus, Glennie.
So what you're doing is you're not actually speaking on the merits of the game itself. You're just speaking on what you want to happen because the West Tigers fans touched you in your special place last week after the game.
Well, the West Tigers fans always touch me in my special place because they're my people. But I think you mean the Dragons
the
fans.
Dragons fans, sorry. Well, the West Tigers fans, the Dragons fans.
All fans, everyone. Come at me, cunts. Whatever.
Everyone's touching Glennie in his special place. The North Queensland Cowboys take on the Penrith Panthers up there at the Abattoir. This is the most affected game of the round, obviously. The Cowboys, though, Drinkwater's at fullback. The Hammer is in 6. Dearden's named in the reserves, so I guess potentially he could regrow his testicle in time. Cotter starts at prop and Neem back in the side on the interchange bench. The Panthers side, this is where the changes come in. Dylan Edwards, Brian To'o, Stephen Crichton, Isaac Targo, Kalen May, Jerome Luai, Moses Leota, James Fisher-Harris, Viliami Kickout, and Isaiah Yeo are all rested. Appy and Spencer Lanier injured. Staines, Taruva, Jennings, Jenkins, Christian Crichton, Falls, Lindsay Smith, Luke, Blacker, Henry and Cole all come in. Eisenhuth and Kenny moving to the starting side, along with Scott Sorensen making his return. It's like legitimately, I mean, like Craig Bellamy can rest the motherfucker. Like, but this is just, look, it's a gamble of sorts. I mean, like, there's just that much confidence in the systems and everything that these guys can step away and have a week off and put their feet up and then come back when it really matters next week and deliver the performances they should be at that time of the season when they're coming up against, it's finals. So, there's a gamble there, especially with like Cleary, who's been out for a while anyway.
Yep.
And then and you've got Luai as well, who was out for a while, came back for like what, one game? Did you have one game back or 2 games
last
back?
week?
Yep. And then so this is a.
Is this how you would play, Jay? If you were Ivan, this is what
100%.
you did. Yeah,
100%.
I tend to agree. I would fucking put them on ice for a week and
yeah. See, I don't know if I'd put them all on ice because I'd put on the guys that needed it though. 100% without question. Like Dylan Edwards is always injured, so he's probably carrying something. We saw Appy and Lemieux, so fair enough.
Yep.
Jerome Luai, if he's not carrying a niggle, I think he might need some time in there. Then the rest of them, like outside backs and stuff like that, I mean, they don't fucking do half of anything anyway in the game. Like, well, it's like when we were talking about Cobbo last week. I mean, they don't need to fucking rest. Give them a training session off. They don't do shit. They just stand out there and wait for it. So, look, I think if the Cowboys lose this game, it will be hilarious. And, as my chaos a lot nature, I'm certainly hoping they do lose.
Have you watched any of that?
I haven't. I'm just taking your word for it at this stage before I get into the rotation. But yeah, I mean, like, honestly, it's in Townsville.
Yeah.
They're trotting out as full strength as they can do, and the fact that they've named Dearden on the extended bench means they're thinking about that too.
Yeah.
If you can do it.
That's it.
So, yeah, I mean, they should win this, and they should win it extremely fucking well, and ultimately reap the rewards on the ladder.
Yeah. Well, which again, this one, like, it obviously means something, but Penrith can't be dethroned. And the Cowboys, no matter what they do, they'll still finish 2 points behind the Sharks.
Yeah, right.
So the Sharks have done enough. And look, we're assuming they're going to beat Newcastle.
Yeah, so it's not guaranteed, but yeah, they can briefly get themselves into second place for a time there.
It's as guaranteed as it could be, though.
But the thing is, if they do beat the Sharks, I mean, if they do get over the top of the Sharks, it doesn't matter. It's just the venue of where they play the Sharks.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
Their week 1 matchup is kind of locked. Pending results of like Thursday night. Okay, so we move on then to that game. The Newcastle Knights take on the Sharks in Newcastle. Newcastle side, Milford is gone. Crossland starts at 5'8". Suaso Su is out. Randall and Johns join the bench. And the Sharks. Ikavali returns, so he replaces Zaro on the wing. And Finucane is listed in the extended reserves jersey 22.
Would you be rushing Dale back?
No.
It's a game they'll win easily without him, and why push?
Yeah.
Save him for when it counts. And I mean, the Newcastle Knights have signalled their intentions by not playing Milford and putting Phoenix Crossland in. And I know you've got your Kurt Mann agenda, Glennie, but
Always playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, the only player he's better than is Phoenix Crossland. So. And look, Milford hasn't been setting the world on fire, but, dropping him and running with a halves combination of Phoenix Crossland and Adam Clune for the final game of the season does send a message that they're not fucking serious either.
Yeah, that's it.
So, Sharks by plenty.
Yeah.
Plenty, I tells you.
Yes.
And finally, a Father's Day gift for Glennie. The West Tigers take on the Canberra
Remember last
Raiders.
Father's Day?
That was we weren't there together. It was the week after we were together, wasn't it? And you and Jackson were
no. It was a week prior.
And that was
The double header. We were there together.
Yeah.
But then the following week was Father's Day, and I'd had a fucking brilliant day. And then Jackson and I drove up to Redcliffe, the two of us, and sat there.
So 2.5 hours,
us.
2.5 hours ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sat there and watched us get, what was it, 38-0 by the Bulldogs?
Yeah, you got donated by the Bulldogs, didn't you?
Yeah, 38 blot. And
What
then
a
we had the
fucking way to end the
then we
season.
had the 2.5 hour drive home.
And the car's just dead silent with you just fuming and Jackson sitting in the passenger seat just going like just stifling laughter every now and again when he thought of the scoreline.
I say angry dad. I didn't play for the Tigers. Or the Bulldogs for that matter. Why are you taking it out on me? Why are you taking it out on me, bro?
So traditionally, and you can probably speak to this more than I can. Well, let's go through the team list first. We'll talk about this.
West Tigers favourites for this game.
Tigers take on the Canberra Raiders. Leichhardt Oval, one of the last games that Leichhardt Oval will host. If they can't get up for this fucking milestone game. Tamau returns from suspension for his Tigers swan song. Musgrove is benched. Mallo is back. Garner returns in the centres. Capoe is out, and Porga goes to the reserves. Did anything happen after? Nothing happened because of what he was mouthing off when he got binned, right?
Yeah, I'm really fucking disappointed in that.
Yeah, like I saw people on Twitter talking about it, but it doesn't seem like anyone in any official capacity recognised it happened. Peachy back on the bench, so that's going to work out.
There we go.
Lids is out, and Katonga is omitted from the side completely. Just a quick thing first. Did you see that something for the two of you to enjoy amongst yourselves? That Jockey Madden has decided that there is no future in game time coming his way at the West Tigers, and it's looking like he'll go over and be the Sean O'Sullivan replacement at the Penrith Panthers. Did you hear that one, Glennie?
Yeah, I did. I was wondering if you were going to bring it up.
I'd forgotten about it until just now when I saw his name.
Like, as much as I've agreed, other than Dane Laurie, I haven't agreed with many of the Pasco-isms where, if it comes from Penrith, it must be great. So, or I'm getting one up over my former employer. I never thought he would allow something such as this. That's a 2 in 1 year, Pasco.
Yeah.
I knew he was an incompetent cunt, but I didn't know it was to this level. Let me try and spell out what's happening here. It could go a couple of ways, but it does look like once the season's over, maybe that's the time where this thing with Brooks and Tyson Frizzell finally comes to fruition, which frees up Jackson Hastings to play 7, Dewey plays 6. Jock Madden's probably right that if that's the case, and there's probably not a great deal of game time for him, and if it's not the case and Brooks is still there, then unfortunately, because I think he's a better option, I still don't think he's going to get much game time, but he certainly, in the time that he's had in first grade, he certainly acquitted himself well, and he's a competitor, and he puts a fucking effort in, and I wish he made his debut at Magic Round last year, and just good family. They were not seated not far from us in the stand, and he's a good lad, and he deserves an opportunity to show what he's capable of on a greater scale in first grade. I don't know that he's going to get much game time at Penrith other than filling in, but he's certainly going to learn a lot, and he's going to become a better player just by being in the system.
Have you not seen Nathan Cleary's tackling technique?
He gets suspended and plays State of Origin football. I mean, he'll get 4 games minimum. That's just the way it goes. And I think you'll take those 4 games over 24 games at the West Tigers getting hammered.
Yeah, like I said,
you'll take 4 games where he gets to run off the back of
just being in the system. Yeah, just being in the system is going to be advantageous for his career, no matter where he ends up. So, I'm sad to see him go.
So, on to the game at hand, though.
Yep.
The Canberra Raiders, they expect to win. The West Tigers need an absolutely monumental win on the back of the news that the West Tigers have lost to the Warriors the day before, the Tigers will know that they'll see the margin, they'll know the margin, they'll walk out on that field, and there'll be an equation. There'll be an equation there. They'll know we got to go out here. We got to put 60 on these cunts. They'll know.
Will they be able to do anything about it?
They're going to play with that free flowing style
that we know and come to expect. West Tigers have been installed as favourites for this game by Blakely Bet.
I was going to say because they're not in non-crackhead bet.
$3.75 outsiders.
Look, that's about as short as they've been all season. So it always is favouritism.
Is that the first time you've been under $10 this year?
You're a fuckhead, mate.
No,
it has to be that way. You can't possibly be serious.
How many other games have you been less than $10 in?
Plenty, other than when we played Penrith. Yeah.
But you played with no Origin players.
Yeah, it was still probably $10.
Like the Cowboys are facing more of our players this week than you did.
And they're $1.15.
Exactly.
Yeah, good. Look, cannot see a scenario where the Canberra Raiders can possibly win this game. West Tigers, off the back of a fucking monumental Herculean effort last week against fucking juggernaut that is the St George Illawarra Dragons, only to be robbed by the incompetence of one of their players. Fuck me, they're going to put 60 on us, and it's very frustrating because old fucking the toilet somersaulter, don't hear much from him. He's always plays nicey until it comes time where we play the Raiders, and then he makes a cunt of himself. You're right. They may well go into this game with an equation saying, if we win by X amount of points, we've been here before, in positions to make the finals, potentially, if we won by X amount of points, let alone avoid the spoon. And that has worked out for us 0% of the time. So I don't anticipate this game's going to be much different.
But they can all go and get nice haircuts afterwards and stretch their quads.
Well, will they be nice haircuts? Or has Pascoe saved money by getting a fucking, a guy that was flipping burgers to come and be the barber? You wouldn't put it past him, would you?
No, I wouldn't. But, there's not much I'd put past him.
Look, there are two possible outcomes for this game based on the game with the Titans. Titans win and go 4 points on the ladder ahead of the Tigers. Raiders win by 60 because the Tigers won't have anything to play for, no hope. The Titans get flogged or lose or get flogged and, give an achievable, in air quotes, margin. The West Tigers will hang in the game, but they're still not going to win. There's no chance. There's nothing, no fucking way they win this game.
No chance.
None.
No, that's it.
All right. So we've been kind of doing the predicting before between and around all of the games.
That's it.
So, and the final 8, really without major catastrophes, was decided last week.
Yep.
So on that note,
so it's Penrith, Sharks, Cowboys.
Yep.
Storm, Rabbits, Parramatta, Roosters, Raiders.
All right. And then we go into the final series, at which point we'll be dropping back to Wednesday night. So we'll be doing next Monday wrap up of the final round. Wednesday will be the previews for the first round of finals, and then just given the fact that the games halve and then halve again immediately after, we'll be going Wednesday nights only. And so the schedule will basically be Wednesday nights through the final series, Wednesday night after the grand final, and we'll try and get another Ask the Agent episode after that while voting for Twillies is happening.
Fuck that guy.
And then we'll finish up episode 500, last one of the year, and that will be the Twillies around, I think around the 18th or around mid-October, whatever that Wednesday turns out to be.
Fuck yeah.
So, thanks for listening. That's full time for episode 492. As always, if you'd like to support the show, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TWiLNation. And got a shitload of Patreon rewards arrived at my place yesterday afternoon. And so if you are a Patreon member, a patron on the top 2 tiers, On the second highest tier, you'll be getting a shirt coming your way real soon. And if you're on the top tier, you'll be getting 2 shirts coming your way really soon. And if you're waiting on the regular memberships, we're still waiting on those polo shirts to come through. And I would imagine we'll be getting them within the next week. Hoodies are here. So, yeah, fucking loving it. Got a shit ton of merch in my house at the moment. But, yes, can't wait to get that out there, everybody. Do you fellas have anything you would like to add before the end of the episode?
No.
If we lose by
Bring on the
60, they
finals.
can burn Leichhardt to the fucking ground.
That is a contract. A verbal contract. Dominic, are you listening? The mayor of Leichhardt has just put that down. And,
Mayor of Tiger Town.
Mayor of Tiger Town. After fucking the former mayor, Madge, was deposed in a bloody coup.
That's it.
Around May or whenever it was.
That's it.
All
Yeah,
right.
two big games. Melbourne Parramatta, Storm, Roosters, South. Can't fucking wait.
All right. On that note, talk to you next week.
See ya.